Good morning to you. Another chill in the air this morning. Some dry roads out there, not really dealing with some patches of frost for now. There could be a couple of areas that may be dealing with some frost similar to yesterday. Otherwise, we're starting off the morning running a little bit warmer compared to yesterday. Some dry air blowing in. We've got temperature readings in the upper 30s. The winds are nice and calm, 57 degrees right now in Galveston. And similar to yesterday, just a lack of any sort of moisture. We've got that dry air blowing in. The humidity levels should remain comfortable through the weekend. Early next week is when we slowly start to see the climb in those dew point temperatures. That muggy meter is going to get back to the sticky range out ahead of a stronger cold front arriving for Thanksgiving. We actually have a couple of fronts next week. For today, though, we stay nice and dry with temperature readings warming around 11 o'clock in the mid-60s and then topping out at 74. Once the sun goes down, temperatures will be falling fast. We'll talk about your weekend forecast and a closer look at those cold fronts for next week coming up in just a few minutes.
Elita.
All right, if you loved the forecast yesterday, you're going to love it today. We're starting off with temperature readings not too far off, maybe a few degrees warmer compared to yesterday, but still in the 30s in Conroe. We've got 40s right now in Houston, Beaumont in the lower 40s. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. We're going to stay in the 40s at least for the next few hours before we start warming up into the 50s by 9 a.m., 66 by 11 a.m., and yes, even a little bit warmer compared to yesterday, topping out somewhere around 74 here in Houston. We'll talk about your weekend forecast, of course, and what's ahead for Thanksgiving week coming up in about 10 minutes. But first, here's your air quality and allergy report sponsored by Disney's Moana 2, only in theaters November 27th.
Hey, we hope you've loved the morning lows in the 40s because this morning we got them again.
We've got them again. We've got them for Saturday morning and then Sunday, not so much. We've got some changes for the second half of the weekend. Yes, and many of you will be not working or maybe even off school next week. Many school districts taking the week off, Thanksgiving week. We've got some changes on the way this morning. A very subtle change in those temperatures, running a few degrees warmer compared to yesterday, but temperature readings still widespread in the 30s and 40s. Austin right now 38 degrees. Out the door here in Houston, you're at 48, not a cloud in the sky, and you'll be greeted by this nice, cool, crisp air with not much of a breeze. Thankfully, the winds have settled. We've got a light breeze blowing down along the coastline. Where Galveston, you're at 57 degrees currently. Mid-40s in Sugar Land as well as Pearland. Maybe a little bit cooler at 40 degrees. Disregard, I see it. I see it, Humble. You are not minus 40. Just pretend you don't see that. Sometimes we have our observation sites do crazy things. All right, temperature readings in the low to mid-70s by this afternoon, and those overnight lows will tumble once again. Pretty widespread into the 40s. Now, we do have some changes, as I mentioned. Saturday is still looking fantastic. By Sunday, notice the breeze. That's going to be coming in out of the south, getting stronger, and that's going to offer up very limited cooling for us overnight and then some warmth during the afternoon hours. Thankfully, humidity levels will still be comfortable enough. And then heading into next week, those rain chances will slowly start to build. Two fronts for next week. The first one will move through with very little fanfare on Tuesday, but the potent storm, the stronger storm, will be impacting the West Coast. Those of you traveling on Monday, this is going to continue to march toward the east, eventually bringing some major snow across the Rockies. So if you're traveling maybe Colorado or Utah over the holiday weekend, be prepared for some snow. For us, we'll get a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms to roll through here. Right now, still trying to time out the storm. Right now, we have an afternoon frontal passage, so that'll mean temperature readings will warm somewhere into the upper 70s. There's still an opportunity for change because if we shift this to the morning hours, we're going to be dealing with a much colder Thanksgiving. So for now, we're going to leave it on the warm side, not make any changes, but there will be the cold behind it. Some cold Canadian air returning late next week into the following weekend. The calendar, yes, from normal. Yesterday, only a couple degrees warmer than normal. We've got a little bit of a warming trend, but if you liked yesterday, you're going to enjoy tomorrow as well, as temperatures will start off in the 40s Saturday morning with highs in the upper 70s. And then a little bit of a roller coaster, a couple of cold fronts to track, but it's that second one that arrives on Thanksgiving that will offer up another drop in temperatures. I'll have the latest on those rain chances coming up in just a few minutes.
looks like Elita right now checking in on the weather.
Yeah, the colder air starting to retreat. You can see that cold Canadian air that's been invading the U.S. is slowly starting to slide northward. This afternoon, temperatures expected to warm into the mid-70s. And if you like yesterday, you're going to like today. Tomorrow, not bad as well. A little bit warmer by the afternoon hours. But by Sunday and Monday, we start to see some transition as those Gulf winds start to pick up. Temperature readings won't be cooling off quite as much, but still favorable for any sort of outdoor activities. By early next week, we've got two cold fronts that we're going to be tracking. Monday night into Tuesday, that cold front's going to be sliding through the Houston area. Not much moisture, only a 10% chance for rain, and not much of a drop in temperatures. There will be a modest drop. But the stronger front will be impacting the West Coast on Monday. This is going to continue to bring heavy rain, heavy snow across much of the West, and then eventually it's going to arrive into Southeast Texas. The timing is still uncertain, but regardless, we know it's not going to have a lot of moisture with it. 30% chance for some wet weather. We do know that it's going to have a lot of cold behind it. Another cold Canadian air mass that's going to be invading our area, and that's going to hold off until we get into the Friday and next weekend time frame. I mentioned not a lot of rain. You're talking rainfall totals probably less than 1/4 of an inch with both fronts coming in next week. You can see the gradual climb in those rain chances. We're talking a 20% chance next Wednesday, 30% chance for Thanksgiving. Out the door, what can you expect? It's going to be another beautiful sunrise out there. Chilly, so if you were wearing a jacket yesterday, you probably need one today, and then something that you can easily peel off for this afternoon, because those temperatures in the upper 30s in Conroe going to warm very quickly by this afternoon. 40 degrees in Brenham, 46 degrees in Sugar Land. This afternoon, Sugar Land, you're in the mid-70s, low 70s in Pasadena. It'll be another chilly start to Saturday with widespread temperatures in the 40s. You're going to be nearing some records Sunday and Monday. You get a little modest drop with that weak front on Tuesday, approaching records again, if not challenging, tying a record by the middle of the week. But Thanksgiving, yes, that's going to be the day where we get a little bit of rain, but also a drop in temperatures to close out the week.
Elita, thank you.